Okay, good afternoon everybody. My name is Chris. I'm with Aspire Truck Driving, and we're gonna do a little video for the pre-trip inspection because as of October 1st, 2016, they don't do the pre-trip on paper no more. You have to do it hands-on when you do your tests with your back maneuvers and your driving tests and everything. So we're just gonna put a video up on this page right here for those trying to get their CDLs. They can kind of get a feel for what it's gonna be like. Like I said, my name is Chris and I'm with Aspire Trucking. We're gonna go over this pre-trip. Okay, the best way to do the pre-trip is to start yourself up at the top. Because if you start at the top and work yourself down, you'll make sure you don't forget anything. So we're gonna start ourselves up at the top. We got our air damper. That's our air damper. And that pretty much need to just be firmly attached to the vehicle and no damage. Then we work our way down. We got these 5 lights here. These 5 lights are marker lights. They're amber in color, and you need to make sure you say the 3 C's: clean, clear, not cracked, and operation. Then we work our way on down, which leads us to our windshield. Windshield is what? Clean, clear, not cracked, operational, firmly attached to the vehicle, nothing blocking the view of the driver from the driver being in the driver's seat to when he's seeing the roads when he's driving. Work our way down to our windshield wipers. Our windshield wipers are firmly attached to the vehicle. The rubber pieces in place, no damage. Then we want to come down to our mirrors. Our mirrors are metal. The things that hold our mirrors to our vehicle are metal. It's firmly attached to the vehicle, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Then we want to come down to our hood, of course. Our hood is what? Firmly attached to the vehicle. It's plastic, so it's not cracked and no damage. Our latches are in place on our hood on the side. There's one on this side, there's one on that side. Come on down to our grill. Our grill is firmly attached to the vehicle, no damage. Nothing blocking the flow from air to get in through the radiator to keep the engine cool. Then we want to work our way down to our lights. We got our lights. Our lights are plastic, so they're clean, clear, not cracked, and operational. And all the lights that's in the front, we have our high beams, our low beams, our turn signals, 4-way flashers. We have our running lights. Our running lights are pretty much the same thing as our running lights that's up there. Then we want to come on down to the bumper. The bumper has no damage, firmly attached to the vehicle. Then we have our fog lights here. Fog lights are clean, clear, not cracked, in operation. Then a lot of people would think that you're done with the front, but you have to take a step back. You have to kneel down and make sure there's no leaking underneath your tractor or your trailer. The only thing that should be leaking is your AC, if anything. Then you want to take another step up and look at your vehicle. Make sure it's not lopsided. Make sure it's not leaning one way or another. If it is, it's an indicator that it's low tire pressure, the suspension is bad somewhere, or the cargo in your trailer is unbalanced, which means that you need to check that and get your cargo balanced, or air your tires up, or go to the shop and get your suspension fixed. Now that's it for just this part. Now we want to work our way on up. These latches I was talking about, I'm gonna pop that latch right there. Be right back. Pop that latch over there. it's so easy to just jump right into the engine, but it's so easy for you to forget something. So if you forgot something in the front, you can start your way back up at the top just to pick up those points that you missed. So you start back up at the top. The windshield is what? Clean, clear, not cracked operation. Nothing blocking the view of the driver from the road. Come on down to the windshield wipers. The windshield wipers are firmly attached to the vehicle. No damage, rubber piece in place. Then you work your way down. You got your air filter. Your air filter is firmly attached to the vehicle and no damage. The easiest way to do it is hit all your wires. You get all your wires out the way, then you move on to your hoses, then you move to your liquids. Just do it in order so you don't forget anything. You want to hit your wires. The wires are firmly attached to the vehicle. No wear, no tear, no weather damage, no frays. All the clippings are on them and it's attached to where it needs to be attached to. Then you want to hit your hoses. Your hoses are rubber. So there's no bulging, no wear, no tear, no weather damage, no frays, no leaks on the hoses. All your hoses. You gotta hit all your hoses. Then when you got your liquids, you got 2 liquids over here and then you have 2 more liquids over there. You got your 2 liquids right here. This is your power steering fluid. It's at proper level, no leaking, and it's firmly attached to the vehicle. Now you can go hit your engine oil right now, but it's so easy to forget about your power steering pump because you can't see it. So you got your power steering pump back here. You just make sure you have to point back there and let them know my power steering pump is back here. My air compressor is here. And I have my alternator here. All of these is on a 1-belt system. It's called a serpentine belt. You got your belt right here. You want to make sure you pull on that a little bit. Make sure it's no more than 3/4 inch of play when pulling it towards you. No wear, no tear, no weather damage, no frays. Then you want to come back up to finish your liquids off, finish your fluids off. You got your engine oil. Your engine oil is firmly attached to the vehicle. It's at proper level. And how would you know it's at proper level? You have your dipstick here. You want to make sure that your engine oil is at proper level. Now you hit all your wires, you hit your hoses, and you hit your liquids, your fluids on this side. You hit your power steering pump, your air compressor, and your alternator. And you talked about your belt, that this is a 1-belt system. You got to make sure that you say, this is all on a 1-belt system. All of this is belt driven, off 1 belt. Then you want to hit you got your steering arm here. You want to go to your suspension, you got your steering arm. And it's connected with a knuckle here. It's connected with a knuckle here. And it's connected to your gearbox with a knuckle here. Now when grabbing on this steering arm, you want to make sure there's no access play here, here, or there. Your steering arm is connected to your gearbox. All of this is metal, so it's what? Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. All the knuckles are in place, firmly attached, no rust around them, indicating that it's a chance it could be loose. And that goes down to your pitman arm. You got your pitman arm is metal also, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Now that play that I was talking about when grabbing on your steering arm, we was talking about here, here, and there. That's your knuckle. That's a crown knuckle there, and a crown knuckle there. And it has a collar pin. This pin has to be in the lock position. It has to be locked in. This will keep the crown knuckle in place. Crown nut. You got your crown nut. You got your knuckle here, your crown nut there, crown nut there. You have the collar pin here and here to keep it locked in place. Now your pitman arm is connected with a crown nut and a collar pin to your drag link. This is your drag link here. The drag link is metal. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. And your drag link is connected to your upper steering. with a crown nut, with a collar pin. Now, you got your lower steering there too, so you don't forget we gonna hit the frame. We got the frame here because it's so easy to get down in your suspension and get up with your brakes and forget about your frame and all this. This all is part of your suspension. So you got your frame here. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. All the nuts are tight, no rust around them, indicating that it's loose. And your frame has spring leaves hanging off of them. Your spring leaf is also metal. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. You have bushings here. You have bushings here. Those are your bushings. Here and here. Here and back there. Your bushings are operational. They work properly. And your bushings and your spring leaves are connected to your spring leaf hanger, and your bushings are connected to your spring leaves. These are your spring leaves. They're metal. So they're not what? Bent, not broken, no illegal wheels, easy. You have the U-bolts that's connected around your spring leaves to your axle. Your U-bolts are metal, so they're not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels, and they're connected to your axle to keep all your suspension in place. Your axle is also metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels, easy. And you have your shock, this big yellow thing here. They're not yellow on all parts of the car, all parts of your tractor or your trailer. It's yellow, so this sticks out right here, but when you get to the back, you have to make sure that you mention that shock too. And it's gonna blend in with everything. It's gonna be hard to see it, but you have to mention it. Otherwise, they'll fail you. Your shock is metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels, also no leaks. Those are connected to your frame and your axle down there that we talked about. Now, the only thing that we have to finish on this side of the vehicle is your lower steering. We already talked about our upper steering, which is our drag link connected to our upper steering. Our lower steering is connected to our tie rod. Our tie rod is here. Our tie rod is there. That's our tie rod right there. That metal thing right there. That right there. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. Our tie rod goes over to that tire, which make both of them turn the way you tell it to turn when you have the steering wheel. So you want to make sure that's firmly attached. You want to make sure all the bolts are in place. No rust indicating it's a chance, it's looseness. And this is how you finish up this tire. You got your brake holes here. Rubber, so it's no bulging, no wear, no tear, no weather damage. Come on out to your brake chamber. Your brake chamber is metal, so it's no dents, not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. This is your brake chamber here. The brake chamber pushes out this thing right here, which is called a push rod. Your push rod has a pin on this side and this side that's connected to your slack adjuster. This is your slack adjuster here. This thing right here is your slack adjuster. Your slack adjuster should not have more than 1 inch of play when pulling it towards you. If it has more than 1 inch of play when pulling it towards you, you need to pull over immediately, get it to a shop and get it fixed before putting this truck back out on the road so you can protect you and everybody around you. Here you have your S-cam. This is your S-cam brake here. This is your S-cam brake here. It's firmly attached to the vehicle. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. This is what stops the vehicle. If you don't have your S-cam brakes, or your S-cam brake is not operational, you're gonna hurt somebody. Then your S-cams is connected to your brake shoes. Your brake shoes is connected to your brake lining. Your brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Brake line is connected to your brake drum. That's all your drum. Your brake drum should not have more than 1 inch of heat stretch. If it has more than 1 inch of heat stretch, you need to get it fixed immediately. You need to let them know that it should not have more than 1 inch of heat stretch. Brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. And that leads to the back of your rim. The back of your rim is not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. And come on out to your tires. got your tires. In the front, tires should be 4/32 tread in front, not recapped, not thin on the sides. And these bad babies should be pumped up to 90 to 105 PSI. You want to come on down, hit your rim. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Now this is an aluminum rim. On aluminum rims, you're looking for shavings around the nuts to make sure that they're not loose. On metal rims, you're looking for rust. So aluminum, shavings, metal, rust. Then you want to hit your stem. Your stem should have a cap on it at all times. What pumps your tires up. It should have a cap on it at all times. And behind this thing right here, you have your hub oil. Your hub oil is supposed to be at proper level, no leaking. Hub oil at proper level, no leaking. Now you have to remember to say this, just because this big silver thing is over it, you can't see it, so it's easy to forget about it. But you have to remember that you say that, otherwise you will lose points. And we're gonna work our way to the other side of the engine. What we're supposed to do? What? Start ourselves back up at the top, so you don't forget nothing. You got your windshield. Windshield is clean, clear, not cracked, operational. Nothing blocking the view of the driver. Come on down to your windshield wipers, firmly attached to the vehicle, no damage, rubber piece in place. Now, over there you hit all your wires, all your hoses, but just in case you forgot to mention them over there, and you want to make sure you don't miss out on no points, just say it again. It's not hard. Wires, no wear, no tear, no frays, no weather damage. Your hoses is rubber. There's no wear, no tear, no weather damage, no bulging, no frays, no leaks. Remember I said you had 2 liquids over there and you got 2 liquids over here. Over here, you got your windshield wiper fluid. Windshield wiper fluid is firmly attached to the vehicle at proper level, no leaking. You got your coolant. Your coolant reservoir is at proper level, firmly attached to the vehicle, no leaking. Now, it's so easy to forget about your exhaust because your exhaust is tucked back there. So you want to hit your exhaust here. No black sud, no welds, no illegal welds, not bent, not broken. Your heat shields are in place, no damage. You want to make sure exhaust is not touching none of your hoses or none of your wires, because if it is, heat causes damage to rubber and wires. And you could cause a fire and hurt somebody. So you want to make sure that that is not touching none of your wires or none of your hoses. The same thing over there goes for the same thing over here. You got your frame. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Remember, after your frame, you got your spring leaf hanger here. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. You got your bushings there. Right there. Then you got your bushings back there. Bushings are what? Operational. It's the only thing you got to say about the bushings. They're operational. And that connects your bushings, and your spring leaf hanger connects to your spring leaves, which are here. They're also metal. So they're the 2 B's. Not bent, not broken. No illegal welds. You have your U-boats, these things that shape like U's. They're also metal. So they're not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. The U-boats wrap around your spring leaf to your axle. Your axle is also metal. So it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. It's all perpetual. It's the same thing over and over again, but you have to say it. Otherwise, you'll lose points. You got your shock here. This one is also yellow. Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds, no leaks, firmly attached to the frame, down to your axle. That other, now over there, you got your upper steering and lower steering. Over here is just lower steering. No upper steering over here. Upper steering, lower steering, lower steering. No upper steering. That lower steering was your tie rod that's connected to your lower steering here. That's your tie rod right there. This is your tie rod. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels, firmly attached to the vehicle. That gives you the ability to move both tires left, move both tires right, or put them straight. That's your tie rod. That's what controls that. Then work your way back up. Brake hose. Brake hose is rubber. No bulging, no wear, no tear, no weather damage. Your hose come on out to your brake chamber. Your brake chamber is metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds, no dents. No dents in this right here. This is very important. You got your push rod. Your push rod has a pin on this side and this side that's connected to your slack adjuster. Your slack adjuster should not have more than 1 inch when pulling it towards you. That's connected to your S-cam brake. This is your S-cam brake. This is what stops the vehicle. Your S-cam brake is also metal. So it's what? Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Firmly attached to the vehicle. Make sure it's firmly attached to the vehicle. Your S-cam brake is connected to your brake shoes. You got your brake shoes. Then you got your brake lining. Your brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Then you got your brake drum. Your brake drum is here. Your brake drum is here. It should not have more than 1 inch of heat stretch. If it has more than 1 inch of heat stretch, you need to get to a shop immediately and get it fixed before you hurt you and someone else around. You come back on out to the tires. Front tires, forward 32nd tread. In front. Can't be recapped. Not dangerously thin on the sides. These bad babies need to be pumped up to 90 to 105 PSI at all times. 90 to 105 PSI at all times. Your stem should have a cap on it at all times. Then you got your rim. Now you remember you got your rim on the back end and you got your rim on the front end. These are aluminum rims. Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. No shavings around aluminum rims. Metal rims in the back. Aluminum rims right here on the front. No shavings around the nuts indicating that it's a chance it could be loose. Behind here you got your hub board. That's what keep that action. That's what keep them bearings greased up. It's at proper level and there's no leaking. And that's it for the front. That's it for the front. But remember when you hit your exhaust here, when you talk about your heat shields and your exhaust, no sud, no extra sud indicating it's a chance it's a leakage, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. It's not touching none of your hoses, none of your wires to cause damage. You got to bring that exhaust all the way back here. That exhaust come all the way back here. That exhaust go all the way there. That's your exhaust right there. That big thing right there, and that come all the way on out to here. All this is your exhaust. You got your heat shields there. All of this is your exhaust. You gotta look for sud. If it's a lot of black sud, it's a leakage somewhere. You got to get that fixed. Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. The exhaust is not touching none of your wires or your hoses to cause damage. If you hit that front, you can't just hit that exhaust up underneath that hood. You got to bring it all the way on back here, otherwise you'll lose points. Now, you're gonna come back up to the front. Now, if you pull that left side, or if you pull the right side of the vehicle, this is the side of the vehicle that you're gonna be doing. You would hit all this side of the engine, and you'd work your way on all the way back. So we're gonna start back up at the top. We got our mirrors. They're clean, clear, not cracked, operational. It's firmly attached to the vehicle. This is metal. So it's what? Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Our door properly open. The door handle is plastic. There's no damage. It's firmly attached to the vehicle. This right here, this is called our running signal light. It's on when the vehicle is on and is used as a signal. You have to make sure that you say both of those things because that's what it is. It's a running signal light, or you could call it a marker signal light. Same difference. and it's amber in color. The reason why it's amber in color is because it's in the front of the vehicle. Amber in the front, red in the back. You got your running signal light or your running marker light, whichever one you want to call it is fine. You have your steps, they're metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. You got your fuel tank. This is important. You got your fuel tank. There's no leaking, not bent, not broken, no welds, no dents, no holes. You got your fuel lines up under here. They're firmly attached to the fuel tank. It's not touching your exhaust, not causing any damage. Now, when you say your fuel tank, you got to open it up. Now, the first thing that I would do, so you don't forget, is look how much fuel you got in there. Because when you do your in-cab inspection, they're gonna talk about that gauge up in there. And you have to make sure that how much fuel you got in this tank mirrors with the gauge that's in the inside. Because it's so easy for the gauge to say a full tank of gas and you ain't got nothing but a gallon in here. And you end up stuck on a highway somewhere and they gotta, you causing a bunch of traffic, and now they gotta call the emergency vehicles and stuff. So you just wanna make sure that this fuel tank mirrors with that gauge at all times. You also wanna look for your gasket. Your gasket is properly in shape, it's working, and it's firmly attached to where it needs to be attached to. That's all you have to say about your gasket. Close your fuel tank up. Work your way on back. We talked about the exhaust came around. Now you want to get it back to the track. These right here are your work lights. They're clear in color, clean, clear, not cracked in operation. These help you at night if you have to get up on your catwalk and you're messing with your glide hands or your air brake lines or your whatever you're dealing with back here. These give you some type of, so you can make sure you see what you're doing. So you have to mention your work lights. They're clear in color, clean, clear, not cracked in operation. Now, here you have your, this right here is your driving shaft. This right here is your driving shaft. It's connected to your transmission there. You can barely see it, but it's firmly attached to the vehicle. It's metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. And it comes all the way back to this big thing right here. This is called the differential. It's axle up front, and it's a differential here. Now, it's so easy to get caught up back there and get right up to your torch. You know, we're not gonna get you. We're gonna hit your catwalk. Catwalk is metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. All the bolts are in place and it's firmly attached to the frame. This is your frame here. This right here is your frame. We want to work our way on back. Now, you're gonna have to do coupling because you're applying for Class CDL, Class A CDL. So you're gonna do coupling. So we're gonna hit our fifth wheel. This is our fifth wheel platform. All of this right here is our fifth wheel platform. It go all the way back there. All the bolts are in place. It's firmly attached. The pins here and here, and we'll get to the other two on the other side, are in the lock position to make sure you don't lose that fifth wheel. You got your fifth wheel platform. Now between your fifth wheel here and your apron here, it should be no space between your fifth wheel and your apron. If there's some space, you can lose your fifth wheel. You got to make sure that it ain't no space there at all. That's gonna be on the written test too. So for those of you guys that haven't did the written test, you gotta make sure that there's no space between your fifth wheel and this apron here. That's gonna be on there, you can guarantee it. You got your fifth wheel platform. Like I said, the knuckle, all the nuts are firmly attached. They're tight, no rust around them. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much letting you know it's a chance that it can be loose. Now while we here, so we don't forget, we gonna hit right here. This right here is called our torque arm. This is the torque arm here. It's metal. So it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Torque bomb has the bushes. The bushes are in place. They're operational. They're greased up. They're good to go. Now right here, you got your differential. Your drive shaft is connected to your differential. This big thing right here is called your differential. Now, from your differential, we're gonna hit your frame again. Got to mention that frame again. You got your frame in the front. There's spring leaf hangers and spring leaves. In the back, this is a torsion bar hanger. This right here is a torsion bar hanger. And you have your torsion bar. This right here is a torsion bar. So in the front is spring leaf hanger and spring leaf. In the back is torsion bar and torsion bar hanger. Torsion bar hanger, torsion bar hanger and torsion bar. That's the only thing different is that it looked the same exact. I can promise you, it looked the same exact. The name just changed. And you would slip up and say spring leaf, so you want to make sure that it's spring leaf hanger in the front, spring leaf, torsion bar hanger in the back, torsion bar. Make sure you remember that. Otherwise, you can lose some points. You got your bushings here, and you got your bushes back there. You're not going to be able to see them. It's not that you ain't going to be able to put the camera back there to see them, but they're back there, though. They're back there behind those U-boats. As a matter of fact, you can see them on the other set of grills back there. Those are your bushings back there. But that's for the other grill, but you can't see the ones on this side, though. So then you want to finish your suspension up before you go to your brakes. So you got your differential, you got your U-bolts. That these U-bolts right here are connected around your differential here, connected around your torsion bar. Metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Everything that's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. If it's plastic or light, clean, clear, not cracked. Even if it's glass, it's clean, clear, not cracked operation. Metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. You want to hit your shock. And remember, I told you this shock gonna be black. It'll blend in. It's metal. So it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds, no leaks. It's firmly attached to your frame and to your differential. It's firmly attached to your frame and it's firmly attached to your differential. Now that's it right here for this one, as far as the suspension wise. Same thing in the front. You got your brake hose. You got the brake hose here, and it's connected to your brake chamber. It's big, so the brake chamber is a little bigger on the back. You got your brake chamber here. The brake chamber is metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. And that pushes out your push rod. Now, I'm gonna be honest, you're not gonna be able to see that push rod and slack adjuster like that back here because it's all like clustered up. But you have to remember, you got your push rod. The push rod has a pin on the left side and the right side that pushes out your slack adjuster. Your slack adjuster is metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Your slack adjuster should not have more than 1 inch of play when pulling it towards you. You gotta make sure you say that. And that's connected to your S-cam brake. Your S-cam brake is metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Firmly attached to the vehicle. And that's connected to your brake shoes. You got 3 parts of your brake shoes. 3 parts of your brake. You got your brake shoes. Your brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. You have your brake drum. Your brake drum should not have more than 1 inch of heat stretch. If it does have more than 1 inch of heat stretch, you need to get that fixed immediately before you hurt you and somebody around you. Now, this is important back here on the tires. Because on the back tires, they have to be at least 2 30-second tread. On the front, it's 4 30-second tread. On the back, it's 2 30-second tread. On the front, they can't be recapped. On the back, they can be recapped. Still not dangerously thin on the sides. And between this tire and this tire, you have to have enough space that they're not rubbing to cause a fire or damage. And it have to be the same exact space around the whole tire. It can't be lopsided. More space on this side than it is that side. It has to be the same exact space. Work your way on out. Work your way on out. 2 30-second tread on these tires right here, to the inside tires and the outside tires. Now you know that these bad babies got to be pumped up to 90 to 105 PSI at all times. You want to come on down, and these are metal rims. Remember what I said about the rims? The front rims had aluminum, so you're looking for shavings, making sure that the nuts are not loose. On the back rims, they're metal. So you're looking for rust. Want to make sure there's no rust around none of these nuts, because one of those nuts can be loose and you can cause, you know what I'm saying, severe harm to somebody or yourself. Now, this hub oil on the front, ain't no hub oil in these tires. This is a differential right here. So you don't have to say nothing about hub oil here. Hub oil in the front. I believe on this trailer, there's some hub oil on the back, on the tandem tires also, but right here is a differential. So you have to just make sure that you remember it's hub oil up there, it's a differential here. Now that's it for that tire. This tire right here, perpetual, same exact thing. Nothing changes on this tire from this tire. So if you go through this video, if you're watching this video on YouTube, if you remember everything that's on this tire, you're gonna remember everything on this tire. But when you go back, you have to remember to talk about your airbags. Your airbags is what the air is held in these bags to apply air to your brakes, because this is an air brake system on this trailer and this tractor. So there's no bulging, and if you listen, you hear no leaks. That's all you gotta say. Now, on the side of the trailer, you want to talk about, you want to look down it, make sure there's no dents, no holes, no damage. If it's dents, it's an indicator that the cargo in your trailer is shifting. So it's unbalanced, it's not properly attached, it's not locked down to where it needs to be, and it's sliding and it's putting dents in your trailer. That's a problem, because you could be going around a curve or coming off an exit or a ramp, and you could turn a little bit. If that cargo ain't firmly attached to where it needs to be, or it's unbalanced, it can shift your trailer and you can roll over. You're gonna hurt yourself. And when you talk about the trailer, you want to talk about your header board. This is your header board. The header board is what protects you from the cargo. Whoever the driver is from the cargo, if that cargo slide up and hit that header board, it's gonna make sure that it don't harm you while you in this tractor right here. Now, you can talk about your glad hands here if you want, but I was just gonna wait till we get to the other side, because that's part of all the coupling. So we just gonna do it when we get to the other side. So we're gonna come on back. You see that amber color light up there? That's your clearance light. Call it a market light, clearance light, whichever one you will remember. Either one will get you passed on the test though. It's clean, clear, not cracked, operational, and it's amber in color. It's amber in color because it's in the front. You got your reflectors. All on the side, it goes from white to red on the side. Not red to white, not white to pink, not pink to red, white to red on the side. Reflectors on the side. You have to make sure that you say white to red on the side. Come on back. You got your mud flaps. The mud flaps, no damage, no more than 8 inches off the ground. So 8 inches or less from the ground. Can't be more than 8 inches. Now, while you're doing your coupling, you got to get under here and make sure that you see your kingpin, your fifth wheel is in the lock position around your kingpin. Because if it's not locked in the lock position around your kingpin, you can lose this trailer and harm somebody. While you're back here, you got to talk about your lights, your tractor lights. They're red in color. You got your reverse lights. They're clear in color. These lights are not just used for brake lights. They're brake lights, tail lights, four-way flashers, turn signals. All that's what these lights are. All these lights right here does all of those. Turn signals, four-way flashers, brake lights, and tail lights. This right here is part of your trailer frame. It's just these lines, these metal lines going from this side to that side. That's part of your trailer frame. Okay, right here, you got your landing gear. Your landing gear has to have enough space from here to your mud flaps, or from here to your tractor, whichever one you can remember. Because you have to have enough space between those for turning. You going around the corner and your trailer touches your landing gear, you're gonna hurt somebody. And more importantly, you're gonna hurt yourself. You got your landing gear is metal. It's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. You got your landing gear feet. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Work your way on back. You already talked about your reflectors. This is the same thing that was in the front that I was talking about. This is a running turning signal, or you could say a marker turning signal. Either way, it's gonna get you passed on the test. It's amber in color. Clean, clear, not cracked operation. Work your way on back. Now, here, you got your tandems. You got your tandems here. You got your tandems. And you gotta make sure that this pin right here, and there's another pin in the back, are in the lock position. These are your air holes. Your air holes are not touching the ground, not causing no damage to your air holes, because if you cause damage to your air holes, you're not gonna have no brakes. Air hoses are rubber, so there's no bulging, no leaking, no wear, no tear, no weather damage. Right here, you got your torching bar hanger. Same thing as it was right there in the front we was just talking about. You got your torching bar hanger. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Down there, you got your torching bar. That's your torching bar back there. And right here are your bushings. Those are your bushings. You got your torching bar hanger. All of it's metal, so it's not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. And make sure that these tandems are in a lock position with that pin there, and there's another pin in the back. Now I'll show you it once we head towards the back. Now on these tires, remember, 2/32 tread in the back. They can be recapped. Have to be enough space between these two tires back here so it's not causing no damage, no fire. Because when rubber rub up against each other, you're gonna bust your tires out. You're gonna have a blowout on the side of the road or something. Here, hub oil. Remember, it was hub oil on the front. There was a differential up there at the back trailer tires. On these tandems, you got this hub oil. You have to look right here and make sure it's at proper level and there's no leaking. These are metal tires, so there's no rust around nuts, indicating it's a chance that it's looseness. These bad babies got to be pumped up to 90 to 105 PSI at all times. And you want to make sure you look at your caps, your stem cap on all your tires, on all your rims. Make sure that it has a cap on it at all times. Work your way on back. You got your mud flaps once again. Mud flaps is no more than 8 inches from the ground. 8 inches or less from the ground. No damage. Now, I know some of you guys are watching this video like, man, why didn't Chris go over the suspension or the braking system on these tires? Just like I told you up there, every single rim has the same exact thing when it comes to the brake. You got your brake chamber, you got your push rod. Your push rod pushes out your slack adjuster. Slack adjuster should not have more than 1 inch of play when pulling it towards you. Then you got your S-cam brake. Then you got your brake shoes. You got your brake lining. Brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Then you got your brake drum. Brake drum should not have more than 1 inch of heat stretch. Same exact thing with petrol. Same exact thing, I can promise you. If you get one tire right, you're going to get every single tire right when it comes to the brake system. It's the same exact thing. And remember, in the front, on the two front wheels, you got spring leaf hanger, you got spring leaves. On the trailer wheels and on here, you got, on your trailer wheels and on your tandems, you got torching bar hanger and torching bar. It's the only difference. That's the only difference. Spring leaf hanger, spring leaves in the front, torching bar hanger, torching bar in the back. That's the only thing that's different. And they try to trick you up. They try to believe that it's something different, but it's the same exact thing. That stuff that we was talking about, that I was just talking about, the slack adjuster is there. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just go up under here 1 second for y'all. This is your slack adjuster. Pin on each side. Push rod. Push rod. Pushes out your S-cam brake. This is your S-cam brake here. S-cam brake here. S-cam brake. As a matter of fact, you can probably see it a little clearer on this side. The S-cam brake has your brake shoes. Brake shoes, your brake lining. Brake lining should not be worn dangerously thin. Then you got your brake drum. Brake drum should not have more than an inch of heat stretch. Same exact thing, perpetual, over and over and over again. If you remember, you will pass the test. All the suspension is the same. You want to talk about your airbags when you come back here. The airbags has no bulging, no leaks. You don't hear no leakage if you was right here. If it was leaking, you can stand right here and hear it. So we know that these airbags has no leaks. You got your U-bolts. Once again, it's around your axle here. This is your torsion bar. And those right there is your torsion bar hanger. It's the same exact thing. Back is important. Back is important. When you talk about your back, you're going to make sure your hinges are in place. It's metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. Firmly attached to the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your locking arms are in the lock position. The door is not flapping open while you're on a highway or on some road, you hurting somebody. Might be a car that's riding your tail. Your locking arms are in place. These trailer doors can pop open, and it's always gonna be your fault because you're supposed to be the professional driver. You got your reflectors. The reflectors could be white to red to white, whatever in the back. But on the side, white to red. You got all your lights. You got your reflector lights here. And you got your lights here. All these lights are used for what? Brake lights, tail lights, turn signals, four-way flashers. Yeah, brake lights, tail lights, turn signals, four-way flashers. And you got to mention that license plate light. That license plate light is clear in color. All these lights are red in color. So again, you got your reflector lights, which will be like your marker lights or your on lights when the vehicle is on. And then here and here, these two lights on this side and those two lights on this side are your brake lights, your tail lights, your turn signals, your four-way flashers. Then you got your DOT bumper. DOT bumper is metal, not bent, not broken, no illegal wheels. Work our way on over to this side. Only thing different from that side and this side is what I'm about to show you right now. I already mentioned the hinges. The trailer has no damage. All the locking arms are in place, and we're gonna work our way on over to this side. Now, this is your marker light also, but it's red in color. Why is it red in color? Because it's in the back. If it's in the front, it has to be amber in color. If it's in the back, it'll be red in color. The reflectors are white to red on the side. We already talked about our trailer. The trailer has no damage, no holes, no dings, no dents. If it is, it's indicating that your cargo is up in there moving around and it's causing damage. And if you go up in there and make sure that it's firmly attached to where it needs to be and it's balanced, you'll protect yourself when you're going around those curves or coming off those ramps. Only thing that's different on this side, you got your tandem locking arm. You want to make sure that this is in the lock position, as in down. This controls these tandems. Make sure that pin is in the lock position. And that pin right there is in the lock position. That's the other pin I was gonna show you guys. That pin is in the lock position, and that pin up there is in the lock position. Make sure that your tandem is gonna be sliding back and forth, back and forth. The only thing different from this side is the tandem is supposed to be in the lock position. We talked about your running turning signal or your marker turning signal, amber in color. Walk our way on up. It's your landing gear. So you got your landing gear crank, firmly attached, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. Then you got two gears. You got high and low for your landing gear. You got high gear and you got a low gear. High gear and low gear for your landing gear. High gear, low gear for your landing gear. That kind of rhyme. You probably remember that. Get you passed on the test. You want to make sure there's enough space here, between here, for when you're going around corners or you're turning. Mud flaps are no more than 8 inches from the ground. 8 inches or less. We're going to work our way up. Now, what's different on that side from this side, you got your glad hands. Your glad hands has the rubber pieces on them. They're firmly attached to the vehicle. These are your airlines. These are your airlines. All these are your airlines. This right here is your electrical line. This green one is your electrical line. This controls the lights and everything back there. This is your electrical line. This blue one is your service brakes. These are your service brakes. This red one is your emergency and supply brake line. Service brake, emergency supply, electrical. Want to make sure that it has no wear, no tear, no hole, no wear, no tear, no frays, no leaks. Firmly attached to the vehicle. On this side also that's different. You have the catwalk steps. It's firmly attached to the frame. Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds because it's metal or aluminum. Not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. We're going to talk about your battery. This is your battery box. Your battery box, I'm pretty sure they're not going to make you open this, but you want to make sure that you say, this is where I check my battery. My batteries are firmly attached to the box. The wires are in place. No wear, no tear, no frays on the wires, no acid or corrosion on the battery. No excess acid or corrosion on your batteries. You want to make sure that you say that. And you want to talk about your air tanks. You got 2 air tanks. You got 2 air tanks here. You're going to have 2 air tank gauges when you do your in-cab inspection. You got your air tanks. There's no dents, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds, no leaks. Now, these are your drain lines. You have to drain these after every work day. You have to drain these lines right here. You have to drain it. It's over there for that air tank and here for this air tank. They have to be drained after every work shift, after every day. We already talked about your fuel tank, but just in case you forgot it over there, you can mention it again. Open it up. Make sure that your gasket is in place, and however much fuel is in there, it mirrors with the gauge on the inside. We're going to talk about the straps also. The straps are firmly attached. The rubber pieces in place, not bent, not broken, no illegal welds. The fuel tank is firmly attached to the vehicle. It's not moving, so you don't lose that fuel tank on the highway or on some road. Same thing over here for this running marker light, running turn signal, whichever one you want to call it. It's clean, clear, not cracked, operational. And it's amber in color. Why is it amber in color? Because it's in the front of the vehicle. If it's in the front of the vehicle, it's amber in color. If it's in the back of the vehicle, it's red. Now, that pretty much concludes this pre-trip inspection. I'm letting you guys know, if you want to get your CDL, you want to get some good training, come on to Inspiring. It's an up-and-coming school. I'm letting you know they really give you some hands-on training. It's a good school. Like I said, I'm new to Texas. I just moved here recently, you know, and man, like, they get you the things that you need to know. And not only do they get you the things you need to know, but they get you the things for you to stay safe and keep everybody around you safe. I thank you and appreciate you for taking time to watch this video. This pre-trip video right here is really gonna get you to pass this test. If you have any questions, just go to the number at the bottom of the screen. Take care.